fans. For the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies!
We welcome you back to the Carolina Ale House here in Knoxville, Tennessee, off Kingston Pike, segment number 2. As it starts to get a little more windy here through the garage doors, and a beautiful venue for us to do our pregame shows, our outdoor patio, a full bar, a pack bar right now with everybody sitting on it, over 50 taps available, and a lot going on here at the Carolina Ale House. I'm Richie Giuliano. He's Connor Nelson. In the first episode, we talked about a preview of the game tonight, Birmingham against the Knoxville Smokies. We're going to dive into the Southern League slate today, the schedule of the Southern League. We're going to look around the farm, see how some of our former Smokies have been playing, and then we're going to finalize everything with a little trivia segment for us here at the Ale House and see who's going to take home a 4-pack of tickets. So should be fun, and we're going to dive right into it. Our slate selector, and then we'll go to our keys to the game tonight. First, let's talk about what's going on around in the Southern League. Columbus and Chattanooga playing a doubleheader tonight, Connor. 5:15 game 1 and then game 2 after. I'm gonna pick a split there in this doubleheader today.
Yeah, it's curious. We don't really know who's pitching for these two games right now, and I'm going to have to stick with our home side and the Smokies and say the Chattanooga Lookouts are going to drop both. I'm rooting for the Columbus Clingstones over there in Chattanooga here in their 2-game set. That's what I got.
Okay, we're going to skip Knoxville against Birmingham because I think we're both going to pick the Smokies. Cashmar gets the start for Knoxville. He's 2-3, and Vail makes his first ever Double-A start. Tommy Vail out of Auburn. Runner-up to Paul Skeens for the National Pitcher of the Year in 2023, and still looking to prove himself here in minor league baseball. He'll get the nod for the Barons. I think we're both safely picking the Smokies, right?
Yep, no question. We can move it on. Double Knoxville.
All right, Montgomery and Pensacola in the South. Lasky for Pensacola. Baumeister for Montgomery. I'm going to go with the Blue Wahoos because they need a win. They got swept by the Birmingham Barons in the 6-game series last week, and now they're playing a good Montgomery team where they need some victory. So I'm going to go with the Blue Wahoos on the road.
Yeah, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos have to have a sour taste in their mouth after the sweep last week. Montgomery was able to jump them in the standings. Pensacola is now 3rd in the Southern League South, and for the first few weeks of the season, they had the lowest ERA in minor league baseball. So let's hope the pitching can bounce back. I'm going to roll with Richie here. We're both going with the Pensacola Blue Wahoos.
Biloxi, Rocket City, the final game in the Southern League. Mitch Ferris goes for the home team in Rocket City, and then Cooner goes for Biloxi in the visiting side. After seeing what the Shuckers did to the Smokies last week on the beach, it's hard to pick against them, but I want to go with Rocket City because Mitch Ferris is a good left-handed pitcher. And with the Shuckers' left-handed lineup, I think it could be a good matchup for him tonight. So I'm going to go with the upset down there, and I'm going to pick Rocket City.
Upset is an interesting classification there, but, of course, Rocket City's last place. I'm going to have to go with the Biloxi Shuckers. Keener diced against us last week. I think he's probably going to have another start against the Trash Pandas. So I'll split it up there. We'll get it a little bit evenly. And fans, we're keeping track of this. We're going to see what our record is at each of our live pregame show locations. So right now we're here at the Carolina Ale House. We'll be going to the Jig and Reel, Local Smoky, Balter Beer Works, and a couple other locations yet to be announced. But we're going to still keep track of how many we can get right at each of these places and let you know where the best spot to watch these pregame shows are and join us in picking this stuff. If you guys can pick an accurate lineup, too, we might have to give away some more tickets. You never know.
All right, before we move on to our next segment, which is Keys of the Game, we'd like to remind everybody at the Carolina Ale House, it is a spirit of Southern hospitality where it meets this lively energy of this sports bar here out on the patio that is jam-packed with people. Also some people at the high tops enjoying some beverages. So it's a great Friday night here at the Carolina Ale House off of Kingston Pike where friends, families, fans gather. They celebrate everything from game day wins to everyday good times. Their passion for great food and cold beer is matched only by their commitment to creating a welcoming and fun-filled environment. And I know it's welcoming because we got some of these cheese fries here. Bacon cheese fries with a little bit of Connor's Ranch. And I will say they are very good, so we appreciate their hospitality of bringing that appetizer to us tonight. All right, let's dive into the keys to the game. And Connor, I'll let you go first. We're going to discover 3 keys tonight. What's the first one for the Smokies to beat the Barons in Game 4?
First key to the game for me is going to center around B.J. Murray Jr. We already mentioned him in the first segment. Our exterior home solutions clean-up batter of the game. And I mentioned it before, but he has seemed to come up in every single big situation this season for the Smokies, and he hasn't been able to come up every single time. And, of course, like Michael Jordan says, you can't be afraid to shoot the last shot, even if you're going to miss, because you want to be the guy in that situation. We know B.J. Murray Jr. wants to be the guy in those situations, and I have confidence that he's going to be able to come through. He's a very patient hitter, but a little bit of an aggression might take him a long way.
Well, B.J. Murray was the hero yesterday with the only hit in Game 1 of the doubleheader, which won the ball game 1-0. His 8th home run, 5th at home, and that's key number 1 from Connor. I think, key number 2 in the ball game for the Knoxville Smokies is to be consistent because they've been up and down. Their pitching's good one game, and then their hitting's good the next game. They got to find a way to be consistent and put it all together. So the Smokies tonight have a chance to beat the Barons 3 out of the first 4 games and set themselves up for a really great weekend. But the question is, can they be consistent? And the same goes for the starter, Chris Cashmore. One game, he's 6 innings. He gives up 1 hit and no runs. The next game, he's 2 2/3. He gives up 5 hits and 4 runs. So consistency is key tonight for the Knoxville Smokies. That is key number 2. And then, Connor, I'll let you round it out with key number 3. All right, I'll take it. So key number 3 tonight for the Knoxville Smokies, I think, is to get the bottom half of the lineup involved. We've seen so much production from Brett Bateman at the top of the order, Pedro Ramirez, who's your best hitter batting second, Corey Joyce, who's now been plugged into the 3-hole. And tonight when you look at the starting lineup for the Knoxville Smokies, their last 3 hitters, Wogu, Chavers, Palmer, hitting 220, 257, and 215 respectively. So you need Wogu, Chavers, and Palmer to have a night at the plate. They've been really good defensively. We saw Wogu, the left fielder, make 2 plays where he hit his shoulder on the wall. But so far in this series, they just haven't been able to put it together offensively. So those are some of our keys to the game. Tonight, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the best players in the farm system right now and former Smokies, and then we'll cap it off with our trivia segment here at the Carolina Ale House, giving a pack of 4 tickets away to a lucky and packed fan here at this bar. So we'll take a break. We'll be back after this.
Crap.
All right, back at the Carolina Ale House with Connor Nelson. I am Richie Giuliano. We welcome you to our pregame show here, brought to you by Pilot. And this is our final segment of the show. It's time to look around the farm. And we got to start with Iowa. Kevin Alcantara has been performing really well at AAA Iowa, boasting an on-base percentage of .324. Despite a high strikeout rate, which we saw a little bit when he was in Tennessee at the time, his overall performance indicates significant potential. Just a 22-year-old prospect. You know, Alcantara's got a blend of power and speed, makes him a really promising candidate for a future call-up to the major leagues. In 42 games, 27 RBIs already up there in Iowa with 37 hits. So, you know, he's holding his own at the AAA level.
Yeah, and for a lot of these Cubs minor leaguers, especially the Cubs minor league outfielders, it's got to be tough watching the major league team right now. They have one of the best outfields in baseball. You got the veteran Ian Happ out in left, this emerging star and Pete Crow Armstrong rocking center field, and then, of course, the guy you traded for to really make an impact on this team, Kyle Tucker, waiting in right field. And then you got Seiya Suzuki, the guy you brought over to also be an impact bat, who's been pushed to the DH spot now. And so for Alcantara, the Jaguar, it's still going to take a lot of production for the Cubs to constitute calling him up. And it's going to be a tough road ahead of him unless a move is made in the outfield.
Yep.
But it does seem like the Smokies, the Cubs are going to be buyers this offseason and during this trade deadline area. So we don't know which one of these prospects are going to be on the move, but I do think this farm system may see some changes and the big league team may get some additions.
Yeah, we got some good prospects in Iowa. Now we turn it over to the Cubs, who lead the National League Central. And you got to start with Hollywood Pete. Pete Crow Armstrong hitting .275, a team-high 15 bombs. He's eclipsed 50 RBIs and 16 stolen bases this year. In 2023, hit .289 with the Smokies. Had 19 doubles, 5 triples, and 14 home runs. So he showcased that power that he had when he was here at the AA level, and now is one of the best center fielders and potentially going to be an all-star for the Chicago Cubs this year.
Yeah, I think the all-star is without a question. He's going to have the fan votes, most definitely, to go ahead and get himself into that conversation. It's whether or not the coaches want to put him in the starting lineup and whether or not he's going to be leading off, batting cleanup like Craig Counsell has thrown him in some few games. But no matter what, if this guy makes the all-star game, it's going to be electric, and you know he's going to put on a show. And I think the other guy who's been putting on a show at the major league level right now, another former Smokie, is Matt Shaw. We talked about him a little bit earlier, had his first walk-off, and the Cubs seem to be rallying around this guy.
Yeah, Matt Shaw has been brilliant, you know, for the Chicago Cubs. The last 7 games since he's been called up to the big leagues has an average close to 400. So, you know, when he got brought up originally, he was kind of like Pete Crow Armstrong, where he struggled at first. He got a lot of heat from the national media because he was one of the top prospects. And for a younger player, you still need to develop. So they brought him back down. Rick Strickland, former Smokies hitting coach, spent a couple of weeks with him, and he's really turned his season around. So I really love Matt Shaw, not as just a hitter, but as a defensive player, too. I mean, look what he's done at the big league level, making diving plays left and right the last 2 games. I think he's very quick on his feet. He showcased that both at second base and at third base in the 2023 season, where he was the MVP and also won a championship. So very cool to see him back up in the bigs.
Yeah, and the Smokies needed him at third base. It's been a revolving door for the Cubs up there. So good that he got that versatility in the minor leagues to now be a really key piece for the Cubs, as it's veteran Justin Turner, veteran John Birdie, who's been really commanding the 5 spot over there for the Cubs so far this season.
Hey, come out to the Carolina Ale House here, the spirit of Southern hospitality, and it meets this lively energy of this modern sports bar that we got outside. This is a brilliant place to bring your family to watch any baseball game. I mean, I can't even count on both hands how many TVs they have outdoor here on this patio. Just a electric atmosphere with a great bar, over 50 taps available. They also have somebody drinking wine at the bar right now. They got liquor display. So anything you want, frozen drinks. We got a couple frozen drinks up there at the bar. So this is kind of a baseball fan and a sports fan's dream out here on the patio.
Got a lot of college baseball fans out watching the Corvallis Regional out there in Oregon. Very familiar with that. Looks like a couple other games are going on. I mean, anywhere you look, you're going to pick up something new here at the Carolina Ale House. And they brought us these fries. My mouth's watering. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay on this stream before digging into those guys.
Not much longer, Connor, because we're going to dive into our final segment here at the Carolina Ale House. It's time for trivia, and a lucky fan here will go away with a 4-pack of tickets to any Smokies game in 2025 if you could win the trivia segment. And this time, it's more around Chicago Cubs baseball. We centered it around Smokies baseball when we were at the Chicken Reel. Now we're going to do a little bit of Cubs baseball, see if anybody has some baseball history. So we're going to start it out with this one. I think this may be like a softball for the first one, but maybe some people might be surprised. In what year did the Cubs break their infamous curse by winning the World Series? Was that 2012, 2021, 2008, or 2016? That is question number one. Number two, who holds the Cubs record for most career home runs? Ryan Sandberg, Sammy Sosa, Anthony Rizzo, or Billy Williams? You want to give us number three?
I think I will. We'll lead us into number 3 as everyone's filling out their scorecards. I don't see any cheating right now. That's good sportsmanship. Number 3, only one Cub has ever been featured on the cover of MLB The Show, that's the main MLB video game, since its creation. Which Cub was it? A, Shota Imanaga, B, Javi Baez, C, Anthony Rizzo, or D, Chris Bryant?
That's actually a tough one for those that don't play video games.
Yeah, I maybe came up with that question.
I feel like you have the player back in your drawer of Xbox games.
Oh, well, you won't catch me on Xbox. Unfortunately, you can't play MLB The Show on Xbox, or at least you couldn't back in the day. That's why I went to PlayStation, but yeah, never going back.
All right, number 4 out of 5. You got 5 chances to win. What is the Cubs mascot's name? Now, of course, you got Knox, Jackson, and then the infamous Smokey Joe at Covenant Health Park. But in Chicago, what's the Cubs mascot's name? Is it Clark the Cub, Charlie the Cub, Connor the Cub, or Wrigley the Cub?
Who put that answer
Who put
in there?
Connor the Cub in there?
I think that's right, actually. I don't know. It's got a really nice ring to it.
All right, what's our 5th and final question as we look around and everybody's filling it out?
Yep.
See if we got some Cubs fans in here.
5th and final question. Which Cubs legend is known as, in quotes, Mr. Cub? You know, I actually tested this question out on Richie the other day.
I missed it.
He stumped it and absolutely smoked it. But here are the multiple choice answers. We got Anthony Rizzo, Ryan Sandberg, Ryan, not Ryan, got to be careful with that, Ernie Banks, or Sammy Sosa.
All right, that's our 5 trivia questions. No more. Pens down.
Pens down. I don't want to see anybody looking at their phones. No, we got one guy on the phone, but no, he's good.
Oh, he's good. He's just talking to his buddy. He's talking about how Tennessee's going to win.
Wait a minute. He better not be phoning a friend. Hold on.
All right, we're going to give the answers for those that are watching on the live stream and for those that will watch later. So let's go through it right now. Pens down. And what year did the Cubs break their infamous curse by winning the World Series? 2012, 21, 08, or 2016?
Oh, you're asking me? You're putting
Let's
me
see
on
if
the
Michael
spot?
knows this one. What year did the Cubs break their infamous curse by winning the World Series? Was it 2012, 2021, 2008, or 2016? Wrong. Close. 2016, they beat the Cleveland Indians at the time in Game 7.
That's a sore spot for Richie. He's a Cleveland Indians fan. But here as a Cubs affiliate, we got to be counting that one. So unfortunately, you won't win the tickets to the next Smokies game. We're very sorry about that. Oh.
Shot to the heart here at the Carolina Ale House.
A Red Sox fan. That's what he said for everyone listening. But, hey, we got to appreciate all of our fans here at the Carolina Ale House. This is an amazing venue. I mean, it's something to look at around every corner. The game day just simply never ends.
All right, who holds the Cubs record for most career home runs? Ryan Sandberg, Sammy Sosa, Anthony Rizzo, or Billy Williams? It is Sammy Sosa. I could see a lot of people thinking because of how long he played in Chicago, Ryan Sandberg, but Sammy Sosa, the record for most career home runs.
And Sandberg coming in 5th on the list. The other answers, Billy Williams was 3rd, and Anthony Rizzo was 6th on the all-time home run leaderboard for the Chicago Cubs.
All right, since you're a big video game guy, Connor, give us the MLB The Show question.
Yeah, the question was, who was the only Cub to ever be featured on the cover of MLB The Show since its creation? The answer, Javi Baez. Bonus points, Rich, if you can guess the year he was on the cover.
Okay, I'm going to go, it's got to be 2015.
That was way too far back. In fact, I believe it was 2020. Javi Baez was on the cover
really?
of MLB The Show.
See, Javi Baez had a great career in Chicago, and then, he's actually getting his career back in Detroit. He's having a great season this year, which is awesome to see. I could see Chris Bryant being on the cover of MLB The Show, but not Rizzo.
He was a real popular player. No Rizzo?
No
What's
Rizzo.
the shade for Rizzo?
I just don't think he's popular enough.
I guess
Everybody
that's
knows
fair
Javi
enough.
Baez. All right,
Javi.
number 4. What is the Cubs mascot's name?
Connor the Cub.
Connor the Cub, Wrigley the Cub,
Dang it.
Charlie the Cub, or Clark the Cub? Realistically, if you knew anything about the Cubs, it would only be A or B. And it is
I don't know. I
Clark the Cub.
D is kind of a curveball there. Wrigley the Cub. I think Wrigley's, it's like that kind of flows as a first name,
It
especially
does.
for a mascot. But that was the only one that didn't start with C on our multiple choice. So you
Right.
kind of knew there was something fishy about that answer.
All right, that's number 4. Our 5th answer to win a pair of 4 tickets to any Smokies Cub game.
All right, and the question was, which Cubs legend is known as Mr. Cub? Possible answers were Anthony Rizzo, Ryan Sandberg, Ernie Banks, or Sammy Sosa. Richie, do you need redemption, or have you already looked at the answer?
It's Ernie Banks.
Oh, he already looked at the
I
answer.
knew that one the whole time.
The whole time. Wink.
All right, we'll see who wins our 4-pack of tickets to any Smokies game in 2025 when we tally up who got the correct answers. We know Michael, he probably lost. He got the first one wrong, but you know what? We appreciate him for having us here at the Carolina Ale House. It's been a lot of fun as we wrap up this pregame show. We're getting ready to go back to the stadium and call some Southern League baseball. 7 o'clock first pitch. So we're going to end it here from the Carolina Ale House, saying so long, and we'll be here next Friday. So be sure to come out, enjoy some good times and some good drinks, hang out with us, and maybe win some tickets. If you can win some trivia, you always got a chance. So, Connor, any last words?
Only last words are that if you have not been to Covenant Health Park yet, you must. It is a bucket list stadium that needs to be on every single stadium checklist that there is.
Right.
And if you're not sure how to get there, come to the next Knoxville Smokies live pilot pregame show. Get a chance to win.
We're going to be here next Friday. Signing off from the Carolina Ale House. He's Connor Nelson. I'm Richie Giuliano. We'll talk to you next time on the Smokies Baseball Network.
Fans, for the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies! Woo! Woo!